Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing our week 3 battle for BRL against Robin. And I brought for this matchup Choice Scarf Krookodile, Gracie Surge Boom with Source Dance, 3 attacks, and Gudra, physically defensive, or Beetle with weakness policy, Magirna with Shift Gear, Calm Mind, and 3 attacks, and Savali Electric. Um, And then he brought Lycanroc Dusk, Vikavolt, Vaporeon, Jirachi that can be very annoying with Serene Grace, and Cinderace. Cinderace during my team building was kind of was pretty much a pain in the ass because I knew Cinderace could potentially go on a tear against me. So I had to prep really well for it. And then his last mon was Runerigus. And so yeah, let's get right into the battle. So he started off with Runerigus, and I sent out Crocodile, and I just went out for the knockoff. Um, and he is able to go for the Will-O-Wisp and burn me. Let's go turn back. Yeah, so I go for the knockout, gets rid of my Moxie. He gets a Will-O-Wisp and burns me. So my thought process during that was, okay, so he leads Runerigus. I have the type matchup advantage, and I have knockoff to hit it and do massive damage to it. But I was aware that it could have Will-O-Wisp, and I was pretty sure he was gonna have Will-O-Wisp because Crocodile kind of tore through his team if he didn't get that off and land it. But I was thinking of going out that turn into Orbeetle, but I didn't want to let him activate my weakness policy just yet. So I was kind of scared that oh, he might predict the switch and go for a Shadow Ball or a Shadow Claw on my Orbeetle and do massive damage to me, and then my weakness policy would be pretty much null and void. It wouldn't matter, and I'd be kind of forced to just go for my sticky webs and set it up. And at this time, I didn't know if he had court change on his Cinderace. And I'm pretty sure Vikavolt does not get defog, but I'm not 100% sure. So there was also that. But yeah, Cinderace could have court change and switch over the sticky webs onto my side. And for this matchup, I did not bring any hazard control. My Silvally did not have defog. So I was really concerned about that. So I wanted to keep Orbeetle as healthy as possible and make sure I was able to get my sticky webs at the right time, so that in the right situation I would be able to clean up with either Rillaboom, Magirna, or possibly even Silvally Electric. So yeah, that's why I just stayed in. I was like, I think I should be good enough. I should have a good enough team to handle the rest of his team, even if Crocodile gets burned. And even with the burn, I'll still be doing massive damage to Lycanroc Dusk, to Rodriguez, to Cinderace, to Jirachi. So I was kind of okay with the Will-O-Wisp. It's not ideal, but it wasn't a deal breaker for me. So yeah, so I get burned. I go for the knockoff on the switch because I'm locked into it, and I knew he would have to switch if he wanted to keep his Rodriguez alive. So I switched out into Rillaboom, hoping that he wouldn't scald and burn me, but he just flip turns out and goes to Vikavolt. So I switch out here and go into Gudra because Gudra eats up Vikavolt's hits like nothing, and he brings out Jirachi. I just went for the safe Dragon Pulse because he didn't have anything immune to it. And he goes for Water Pulse and confuses me, which is annoying, but I have Mud Shot here. I was thinking that Mud Shot would do more to Jirachi, but unfortunately it doesn't. But at least the speed drops help, and after 2 Mud Shots, I'm able to outspeed him this turn, which is really great. And luckily, I break through confusion all times, and the confusion ends. The only downside is Mushai isn't really doing much, so I start going for Thunderbolts, fishing for a para. And his Jirachi's like pretty much under half, and can't really do much to my Gudra since he's special. So I decided to switch out to Magirna because my Gudra's getting low, and it's not really doing much, and I just go back out into Rillaboom again, predicting the switch. So I did not predict to switch into Cinderace. I was predicting him to possibly go out into Vaporeon, or even Runerigus to either take a hit or sack Runerigus and get something else in. So I went on to Rillaboom with that thought process, and unfortunately he brings out Cinderace, and I stay in because I have an Oka Berry, but I forget that U-turn exists for some dumb reason, and he U-turns on me, does massive damage, and I have high horsepower the Runerigus, but it lives, but it doesn't matter because I do have Grassy Glide to kill it and finish it off. So that's one Mon down, and he brings out Cinderace again, and I'm forced to switch because I cannot stay in for take a hit, and down goes my Crocodile to Pyro Ball. And I was kind of fine with that because one, Crocodile's already burned, and it pretty much did its job by lowering, by weakening Runerigus down. It could have done more, and it could have helped for Cinderace and Jirachi and Lycanroc, but it pretty much did what it could do considering it was burned. So I was okay parting ways with Crocodile at that point. So yeah, he Pyro Balls and kills me, and I bring out Gudra because Gudra eats all the hits, but yet again I forget U-turn does exist. And he does big damage to me, and I go for Dragon Pulse, and the Jirachi just eats it up, and we're back in the same situation that we were earlier, where I couldn't really do much to Jirachi, so I decided to just switch out into Orbeetle. He goes for Flash Cannon, and he hits me with a Shadow Ball. I thought it would be, I didn't expect to be faster, so I just did, I just set up Sticky Webs, and my weakness policy is activated. He goes for another Shadow Ball. So I'd seen the damage prior on the first Shadow Ball that he had done, and I knew I would live, so I stayed in. Orbeetle pretty much did his job. Its whole job was to take a hit, get the weakness policy up so I can do more damage, and set up webs. So when he goes for Shadow Ball, I go for my own Shadow Ball, and I was hoping it would do more damage, but unfortunately I don't, and the Jirachi lives, and down goes my Orbeetle, and I finish off the Jirachi with Grassy Glide, which is really great. So now I don't have to deal with the annoying shenanigans of Jirachi's hacks, and it should open up the game a little bit more for me now, especially with the webs being up. Cinderace becomes less of a problem now. So Vikavolt comes back out, and I have to switch. I have to save my Rillaboom. He goes for Agility. Magirna was like my best option taking a hit, considering Gudra was kind of low at the time. So he goes for Thunderbolt. Yeah, and I find out that he's Life Orb. I go for Calm Mind. So now I for sure take a Thunderbolt really well. So I thought I did, but it didn't, and he paralyzes me. I go for Shift Gear, and the paralysis pretty much negates my Shift Gear completely, and I'm back to my normal speed that I was at. So that's really unfortunate for me. And here he goes for the Air Slash, trying to go for the pair of flinches on me, and I get paralyzed, so that was even more annoying. And then he goes for another Air Slash, so pretty much this whole tactic right now is just pair of flinch me, but I'm able to break through and get a Draining Kiss off and heal me up. I go for Shift Gear again here. So that puts me at +2 now, even though it says +4. So even though it says +4, I'm paralyzed, so now I'm technically +2 speed. So that puts me way faster than hit Cinderace, which is what I wanted. and he goes to Thunderbolt. I take it really well thanks to that calm mind that I was able to get off earlier. And he pretty much dies this turn after a hit because of the life orb, and I live unless he gets a crit. So I was kind of really banking on him not getting a crit. But then again, for whatever reason, I went for an attack, even though knowing that he was faster than me and he would die. And I pretty much wasted that turn. I could have gotten off maybe like another shift gear or another calm mind. And down goes the Big Volt instead to its own life orb, and I wasted a turn going for Draining Kiss that turn. Then he so that allows some hope that the Cinderace can live a hit if I break through the paralysis. But unfortunately I don't, and then down goes my Magearna to the Cinderace. And at this point I bring in Silvally and I go for the Thunderbolt. Silvally was already, I knew for sure it was faster because I made this Silvally max speed, and he didn't have boots, which was really great, so he was affected by the sticky webs and it made him slower. I didn't really have much bulk invested in, so I expected to die to a Pyro Ball. Especially after I saw the life orb, I was pretty sure I was going to die to a Pyro Ball. And I wasn't going to give him the opportunity to U-turn on Goodra, so I didn't bring in Goodra. Especially since I probably would have died or been really low with the Goodra if I brought it in. So a Thunderbolt with Silvally would either KO maybe, or put it in the range to where Grassy Glide, Rillaboom would finish the job. And luckily it did. He finished off my Silvally with Pyro Ball, and he's in the range where Grassy Glide pretty much kills. So at this point it's pretty much GG. Rillaboom wins the game. He didn't really have anything that could stop Grassy Glide, so down goes the Vaporeon, and then the Lycanroc comes out. Lycanroc, the only thing it can do to maybe outspeed me is go for Accelerock, but I'm not exactly sure if Grassy Glide has the same priority as Accelerock. Okay, sorry about that. Had a little interruption right now. But yeah, what I was getting to is that the only thing he can do is hit me with the Accelerock at this point. But I don't know. I don't think he had it, so I just went for Grassy Glide because I knew he wouldn't kill. And down goes the Lycanroc, and we win the game. GG to you, Robin, and we are now 3-0 in BRL. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully next week we can get a W. We're going up against Josh, really good friend of mine, and yeah, hopefully we can beat him. As I saw this week earlier, he ran full stall with Toxic Protect against Gabriel. Didn't have much luck with Gabriel, but hopefully he doesn't run that against me, because fuck stall. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and hope you guys have a good day. Yeah.